Have you ever really thought about the modern grocery store? I mean, it's a place we all know, but it holds this incredible secret. There's this massive, almost invisible system that works around the clock to keep the shelves perfectly stocked. Like it's some kind of magic. Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain.
You know that feeling, right? You walk in, and it's just this paradise of perfect abundance. You've got these bright, shiny pyramids of apples, perfectly straight rows of cereal boxes. The dairy case is just overflowing with milk and yogurt. Pretty much everything you could ever want is just right there.
But how? I mean, how do they do that? How do thousands of stores serving millions of people somehow manage to predict our collective cravings with such scary accuracy? Well, I can tell you it's definitely not magic. It's a really sophisticated mix of psychology, economics, and some seriously powerful tech. Okay, so let's start with the stuff you can actually see, right on the store floor. The very first layer of this whole operation is really a clever bit of stagecraft. It's all designed to create that feeling of endless choice and perfect supply. It all begins with this simple trick called facing. All it means is pulling products to the very front edge of the shelf. It creates this visual wall of product, you know? It makes the shelf look totally full, even if it's half empty right behind that first row. And here's a cool little fact. A lot of the people doing this don't even work for the store. They're actually sent by brands like PepsiCo or Frito-Lay just to make sure their own products look perfect. And here's the psychology of why that works so well. I mean, this user on Reddit just nails it. We're all kind of wired to see full shelves as a sign that the product is fresh and popular. An empty shelf, that just makes you think the stuff left behind is the junk nobody else wanted. But you know, there is a flip side. If you make the display too perfect, some of us might actually hesitate to be the one to mess it all up. So it's this really delicate psychological game. The shelves have to look abundant and amazing, but also approachable enough for you to grab something. Now, let's go beyond those visual tricks. Behind the scenes, every single store is constantly wrestling with this really high-stakes economic puzzle. And when I say high stakes, I mean it. Check out this number. That's how much money is lost in sales every single year in North America just from stockouts. You know, when you go to buy something and the shelf is empty, getting this wrong is incredibly expensive. So here it is, the huge balancing act. If you order way too much, your fresh food spoils, you get a ton of waste, and your storage costs go through the roof. But if you order too little, you lose out on sales and maybe even tick off a loyal customer. It's the ultimate Goldilocks problem, trying to find the amount that is just right. For a long time, the classic solution to all this uncertainty was something called safety stock. Just think of it like the store's insurance policy. It's that little bit of extra inventory they keep in the back, just in case a delivery truck gets delayed or a sudden heat wave makes everyone rush out to buy ice cream at once. And for decades, one of the main tools for this was a mathematical model called economic order quantity, or EOQ. The goal was pretty simple: find the perfect order size. See, if you place a bunch of small orders, your shipping costs go way up. But if you place one gigantic order, your costs for storage and refrigeration skyrocket. EOQ is the math that tries to find that perfect sweet spot right in the middle. But here's the thing. Today, stores have moved so far beyond these simple formulas. The real secret weapon now? It's data. Massive, complex, and, yeah, deeply personal data. Seriously, stores are not guessing anymore. Every single time you scan your loyalty card at checkout, you are feeding a beast of an algorithm. It knows you buy 2 gallons of milk every Saturday. It knows you switch to oat milk in January for your New Year's resolution. It even knows you buy extra chips when your favorite football team is playing that weekend. And it gets crazier. They combine your personal shopping habits with a just staggering number of outside factors. These computer models look at the weather forecast to predict if people will be buying soup or ice cream. They track fuel prices, economic reports. They know about every holiday, every local festival. They see pretty much everything. So what's the payoff for all this digital mind reading? Well, it's huge. One supermarket chain was able to save over $2 million a year just by cutting down on waste in its fresh produce section. That's the power of getting the forecast right. And this is where the tech is really going next level. The most advanced AI systems use something called graph neural networks. So instead of treating each store like its own little island, the AI looks at the entire network of stores all at once.
It learns to spot these hidden connections, like it might figure out that a store in a Phoenix suburb has almost the exact same buying patterns as one in Miami, even though they're thousands of miles apart. Then they can share that data and make forecasts for both stores way more accurate. Of course, it is not perfect. This chart really shows the challenge. So on the top, you've got a store where sales are pretty stable and predictable. The AI's forecast is almost dead on. But on the bottom, you have a store with these wild, volatile sales, which makes it so much harder to predict, even for a super powerful AI. It seems like a little bit of chaos is just part of the system. So, what we've really seen here is this incredible journey, right? We've gone from simple tricks of the eye to this mind-bendingly complex artificial intelligence. And it's all in service of one simple goal, keeping those shelves full for you. So let's just recap how this all evolved. It started with simple human intuition, a stock clerk just knowing how to arrange the cans. Then came the math formulas, trying to calculate a perfect order size. That gave way to big data, which could see these huge patterns in weather and holidays. And now we've landed on predictive AI, where these systems are learning and adapting in real time, connecting hundreds of stores into one giant intelligent brain. And that brings us to one final big thought. These predictive systems, they're getting better and better every single day, pushing us closer to this world of perfect efficiency. But it really makes us ask a huge question. What is the real goal here? Is it a world where a customer never ever sees an empty shelf? Or is it a world where we completely eliminate food waste? Because right now, those two goals are kind of fighting each other. And as the algorithms get smarter, we're all going to have to decide which one truly matters more.